Hey everyone, it's Christine Alt from Wellness. For those of you that I haven't had the opportunity to meet yet, we've had many new hires through COVID. Looking forward to getting out and about and getting to meet all of you. Welcome to What's Up Wednesday. Today we're going to talk about how we use laughter to relieve stress. Perfect timing as we enter May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. So thank you for joining me today. This is actually a re-record from yesterday. We had some trouble live with the audio, so we fixed that. So again, thank you for joining me. Want to start with a question for all of you. When is the last time you can recall laughing? Think about it. I mean, really, really laughing. Maybe snorting, laughing so hard your belly's hurting, maybe crying a tear of laughter, maybe something even flying out your nose. We've all had that happen. Hurts. All got that moment. Now thinking about this probably makes you feel happy. Maybe you want to giggle at the thought. Or maybe you found yourself smirking, just naturally with thinking of that. Good stuff, right? Now I want you to switch that. Try to remember a day where you didn't laugh at all. We've all had them. Some people have more than others. We want to be respectful of that. We're sharing this information, talking about laughter. Thinking about a day where you didn't laugh maybe makes you feel heavy, not so happy. Do you know that the average person laughs about 16 times a day? And most of those times when they laugh, it lasts for less than 90 seconds. And this is the average person. We know that there are people out there that don't laugh at all or laugh very little. So how much laughter is enough? What do you think? I'm going to leave you with that thought as we begin to explore the benefits of laughter a little more. Move on. Here we go. So I have a quick little video that I want you to watch. It's just very short. But while you're watching this, I want you to pay attention to the sensations in your body. We're going to talk about that after. So here we go. So how did that make you feel overall, listening to something like that? Maybe you enjoyed a little giggle yourself. After all, who doesn't love baby giggles and silly animal things? I felt bad for that puppy with all the bubbles it was eating. But that baby, boy, she can sure laugh. She can giggle. You saw her just naturally letting it out. Maybe it made us feel less tense, maybe more relaxed. All good stuff. Leading me to the next slide. The next question to ponder. Is laughter really the best medicine? I don't know. Is it? What do you think? Or is it not? From a wellness perspective, I think it's the best medicine not typically prescribed. In today's stressful world, and we know it is, there is definitely a lack of laughter. People get so caught up in the have-tos and the should-dos and the to-do list that they forget to be present, to lighten up, to be silly, and just laugh with the world around them. How would you feel if your PCP told you to watch a good comedy show or hang out with some friends that make you laugh, do something that makes you laugh? You might feel like your doctor really wasn't paying attention to you when you were there explaining what it was that you were struggling with, right? Might make you feel a little uneasy. It's telling me to laugh. I'm dealing with stress and I'm dealing with anxiety and it's terrible. And the doctor's telling me to laugh. Unfortunately, instead of prescribing lifestyle prescriptions, which that would have been, we're seeing more and more prescription drugs that are being prescribed to people struggling, like Celexa, Lexapro, Prozac, Paxil, Zoloft, just to name some. I'm not saying these medications are not necessary, because for some people that are truly struggling, that have tried the natural ways of bringing more, laughter into their life, eating healthier, exercise, being around more positive relationships, sometimes people just need that medication to get them over the edge of whatever it is that they're struggling with. What I'd like for us to all do is look at it in a different perspective when we look at medications for dealing with some of these things. Look at it in a temporary light. Never go into it thinking this is now been prescribed to you for the rest of your life. Look at it as a temporary spot in time. Continue to work with the lifestyle prescriptions, the things that you know are good for you to do, the exercise, the healthy relationships, the eating, the sleeping, all of those things that make such a big difference to one's overall health and well-being. As a wellness coach, we look heavily at lifestyle prescriptions, especially those that help lessen the stress and anxiety. Can be very beneficial, and so grateful when we see that they're being prescribed and that people are having those tough conversations with their PCPs and their therapist out in the community, and realizing that it's okay to talk about the struggle with anxiety and depression and stress. So kudos to those that talk about it, and to those that don't, please, I want to empower you to talk about it with those that are there to help support you. It's important. So that leads us on to, let's talk about what laughter is. We all have different, it means so much for every different individual. It's a pleasant physical reaction, the typical dictionary definition, but it can also be unpleasant too. We have to remember that. It's something that you feel. We know it's an emotion. It's also a universal language. No matter what language you speak, laughter is understood and felt. It's contagious for sure. We saw that baby laughing and some of us just went right along with her and started laughing. It can be very contagious. Do you ever recall a time, I know I do, where I was sitting, in a space, something funny happened between me and another person, and next thing I know, the whole room is laughing, and the only people that really know why they're laughing are me and the other person. We've all had that happen. So funny. It just can't help it. It's just, it happens. It's involuntary too. Sometimes it just, like I said, just happens, just bubbles up and out it comes. And we hope it's coming out in an appropriate moment. When we talk about the involuntary piece too, it's important to mention that there is a disorder called the PBA disorder, and it affects people in the way that they laugh, cry, or do both at any given moment for any given reason, sometimes for no reason. It happens. So for those people, laughter may not be a positive thing because they're struggling with it. There are medications that help these people to lessen the outburst, but again, it can be a struggle. So as we are trying to add laughter into our lives every day, understanding the importance of it being there, we also have to be cognizant of the people who are struggling with it. Because in society, when your disorder is not visible, it's often hard for other people to understand. So I always say, never judge a book by its cover, because you don't know what people are dealing with internally that we can't see on the outside. Let's move on to finding things funny. Introverts, extroverts, they're going to look at funny different. The way you were raised, your parents, your siblings, you're going to look at things different. For example, children, they laugh at everything. Adults, not so much. They're often more reserved. They can be, and that can maybe be a sign of, like, again, how they were raised. Some people surprise differently than others. Some people like surprises, love surprises, other people not so much. So it can be, one of those things that, again, knowing your audience and knowing that person. It can also be used to protect oneself in uncomfortable situations. This we see a lot with adolescents, not only adolescents, but we see it a lot with adolescents. We have that class clown scenario where, they make other people laugh. And oftentimes that's a facade to hiding behind something, an uncomfortable situation. Maybe they're trying to find their identity. Maybe they're struggling with some sort of mental health issue. So again, it can be used as a tool to protect, and not only with adolescents, but with, a wide range of ages as well. I think adults, do it. We see it. Life experiences, as I was saying, with, the adults being more reserved. We look at things different based off of where we've been and what we've seen and what we've had to live through. Culture and community, it also makes a huge difference. If you work in a culture that, it's very get there, do your job, and, there's not a whole lot of socializing, laughter can be difficult. If you're in a situation where, it's, there's a focus that might not be laughter, then it could be difficult. So it's always, there's a place in time is very important to remember. So I want to now that we know these things, I want to further explore the actual benefits of laughter, because that's important. I think that will help really put it in perspective for us. Love this little picture here, the things going down, the bad things going down, and the good things coming up. We know now that laughter makes us feel good, but that's just the tip of the iceberg, truly. Short-term laughter increases a person's intake of oxygen-rich air. You know that when you're really laughing and you can't catch your breath, it's really not that you can't catch your breath, it's that you're taking in so much air that your lungs can't keep up with the capacity of it. And it's that feeling of, oh my gosh, I can't catch my breath. We've all had that. It's fun, but sometimes scary because you can't catch your breath. This stimulates the heart, the lungs, and the muscles, and releases the tension that's often found in that stressful situation. We've all experienced that, I think, and can relate. It also prompts the brain to release endorphins, which are the body's natural painkillers. These endorphins are released by the hypothalamus and pituitary glands in response to pain or stress. Laughing decreases the level of cortisol, the evil stress hormone that we all know, by the rush of these more positive endorphins throughout the body. When this happens, it relieves the body's elevated stress response and lowers the heart rate and blood pressure. Stressful situations result in a spike in the cortisol hormone, which interferes with the area of the brain that regulates emotions. When this happens, the immune system deteriorates and becomes washed away in a sea of inflammation, which is a factor in heart disease, cancer, and dementia, just to name a few. Cortisol also affects the immune system, putting these individuals at a greater risk for disease. Long-term laughter improves the immune system by keeping the cortisol levels low. It naturally relieves the pain, improves one's attitude, and the way of looking at situations overall. And yes, it helps with weight loss and creativity too, which we often forget about. So short term, just to recap, gets important organs within your body moving, activates and relieves your stress responses, soothes that tension that comes with that stress, gets really rid of that. It's a great feeling. Long term, look at that immune system. It's just when you have long term and laughter, a lot of laughter in your life, your immune system is it's thriving, it's doing so much better. Relieves that pain naturally, increases that personal, how you look at yourself, just that overall feeling that, that comfort in yourself, improves your mood, just makes you happy, makes you want to smile, enhances the body's ability. Again, that creativity, that, weight loss, all of those important things. So I think from a wellness perspective that the question of, how much laughter is enough laughter. I think that 16 times a day on average is not enough for all that we now know off the benefits of laughter. I think that we should be laughing so much more than we do. And I think you would all agree. So moving on to perspective. Now that we know the benefits of laughter, let's put it in perspective. We need to connect with the value of laughter. Really feel that chemical reaction between the cortisol and endorphins in our body. That natural high, the release in tension, that ability to breathe deeper. We need to connect with that. Too often, we miss out because we have to analyze every situation. Why not just laugh? Who cares about the why sometimes? You think about a situation, why are they laughing? What are they doing? What's so funny? By the time you have come to a thought that makes sense, you've missed the laughter because the laughter's over. We know that because the average laughter lasts less than 90 seconds. So just laugh. Sometimes it's okay to just laugh and you don't need to know why. Like the saying, find the silver lining. Find the humor in every situation. It's there and it will benefit you to have that mindset. Be able to look in the mirror and just laugh. Have you ever just been walking and tripped over your own 2 feet and the first thing we do is look around to see who saw our marbles instead of just laugh it off? We'd feel so much better if we just laughed it off versus the stress of the embarrassment feeling that we oftentimes feel. So remember that. Be the funny that you want to be. Embrace the way it makes you feel. Share that smile. Walk around with that smile on your face and always be ready to laugh. I think that's, so important because you never know when a situation that's funny is going to arise. All right. So ways to keep laughter in each day. I know, and I want to be completely realistic that not everyone finds it easy to laugh, and that laughter can bring up some very tough, difficult situations for individuals. I once did a presentation on laughter, and I had a woman that actually started crying and had to get up and leave the room. And when I went back to speak to the woman to make sure she was okay, it was the hard reality for this lady that she had not laughed in a very, very, very long time. And it brought up some really tough emotions. So we want to be cognizant of that. We know that laughter is not easy for everybody. There are people who truly, truly are struggling each and every day. So what we can do as individuals who find it easier is bring laughter to light in all situations where it applies. Be the person that shares that smile with somebody else, because that smile might just be the greatest gift that that person receives in that day. So again, keep that perspective. We never can really judge a book by its cover. We don't know what people are dealing with. So again, doing what we can do as individuals will definitely help. So World Laughter Day coming up May 1st, the start of Mental Health Month. Great day for wellness professionals as it reminds us to keep laughter in all that we do with our wellness programs. Watch a good comedy movie. God, there's so many out there. I think through COVID, I watched every single comedy multiple times, and it definitely was beneficial. Maybe you're not a movie person. Maybe you don't have TV. Read a funny book or listen to an audiobook. They're out there too. Watch a YouTube video. Maybe it's like a family thing and you bring the kids in and, you can definitely lighten the attitudes and the moods of children by bringing in just doing some funny things too. I think sometimes I remember when my kids were young, just my husband would, do something silly and then just walk into the room and just have us all laughing hysterically. I think, again, being silly, just bringing silly back and being okay with it is great. Which leads me to be around people who exuberate laughter. Just naturally, they're those funny people that just make you want to smile. that make you want to giggle, that make you want to just be happy. You got to, when I say build your tribe, that's the tribe we want to build. We want to build those people that are a part of our day to day, because we all know those negative people can really take the life right out of you, and leave you feeling not so good about yourself. So really try to gravitate to the people who just love to laugh right alongside you. Spend time with animals. Gosh, did we learn this through COVID? I think the people who had animals got to spend so much more time with their animals, and the people who didn't have animals embraced getting an animal. And it's just amazing what animals can give us for gifts, when it comes to just putting things in perspective. They're silly things that they do that just, again, light us up. So, again, spending time with animals, maybe you yourself don't have animals, but be around people who do, to embrace the funny there. As we're starting to get back out in the world, great time to go see a comedian. I actually just saw one this past Friday night, Bob Marley, hilarious, had a lot to talk about his Easter, and was just, I think I laughed for like 50 plus minutes straight. Next day, my actual belly muscles did hurt. So I know it was good. So again, as we're starting to get out, that's a great way to get out there. Maybe it's a comedy in the movie theater, if it's not a comedian, maybe that's not your thing. Just even going out with friends that you haven't seen in a while, and just, sharing laughter that way. Laughter yoga. People are like, yoga, laughter. They just don't seem to go together. Isn't laughter more, laughter is very loud and, exciting, and yoga is very calm and subdued, and, you're more in touch with your body. Laughter yoga combines those two. And it's great because you do work with breath, and you do work with, being connected to your core. And so it's great. A lot of good laughter yoga videos on YouTube. Fun to do with children. I do it with my nephews a lot when they're over and we have time. Great opportunity for some deep belly giggles, especially as, our people who are not so flexible in our families are trying to do some of this laughter yoga. It's fun. Listen to funny podcasts. We all have commutes. We all have things we have to drive to. I love driving by those people when I'm driving that are just like laughing hysterically. I'm hopeful they're paying attention, but they're laughing hysterically. And it always makes me wonder, what are they listening to? And maybe they know this. Maybe they're already listening to those funny podcasts. Again, give it a try. You don't know that it's not going to work for you until you try it. Laugh at yourself. Again, it keeps coming up and again, being able to laugh at yourself. There's so many people who walk by a mirror and they don't even look in it. They don't even smile at themselves, and I always say to the people that I work with in the coaching realm to, be able to look in the mirror and smile at yourself, like what you see. And if you don't like it, practice hard to build that ability to laugh at yourself and feel more comfortable with the person that you see. Again, it's practice. People are like, I have no mirrors in my house. And I'm like, well, you know what? Let's get a mirror right before you go out the door, because putting that smile on right before you go out the door into the great big world is so important, because you never know when that smile or that laughter is going to, be a gift that you give to somebody else that really needs it. So super, super important to be able to laugh at yourself, and laugh along with others. It is so helpful, so medicinal, and very important. So that concludes the presentation today. And I want to thank you all so much. I know this was not interactive, but you all did laugh with me today. I'm sure you did, or everyone who's watching this is laughing. So thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that with me. It is so important. This messaging on laughter and the importance of it in your day-to-day, is one of those things that we can't share enough from the wellness perspective. So I want to thank Jess Carluccio for allowing me the opportunity to be with all of you, to thank all of you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to listen to this very important information. It's, one of those things that, again, laughter can be the greatest gift that you give somebody in a day, especially those that are struggling. So we want to keep that in mind, and always be doing the best that we can be doing with it. And, don't be afraid to, tell someone who's struggling, a funny joke, make them laugh, do something silly, make a face at them and just make them laugh. Don't be afraid to create opportunity for laughter, because again, it's so valuable. So thank you all so much. Keep on laughing. That's my message to you today. And if you haven't looked at yourself in a mirror and smiled in a while, give it a try. Here's my contact information that I want to share with all of you as well in this slide, so that if anyone had any questions or any further follow-up, please send me an email. I would love to chat with you more about it. But that concludes today. So happy smiles to everybody. Thank you again so much.